Okay, so now we will learn how to type the letter accents and the dieresis in Spanish. So the dieresis is basically the letter U with two little dots on the top. And some languages like German also have it. It's called an umlaut, but in Spanish we call it a dieresis. So let's give it a try. So these are the extra words that we have in Spanish that English doesn't have, which are A, E, I, O, U with an accent. And the accents are basically the two little lines, the line on the top, the line on the top of the vowels. So the accents only work for vowels. They don't work for other letters, only in vowels, which are A, E, I, O, U. So yes, A, E, I, O, U with an accent. And the other words we have are ñ, the other letters. The other letters are ñ, which is the letter N with a squiggly line on the top. Ñ. Ñ. And the other one we have is U with the two little dots. This is called the umlaut. The letter U with two dots. Umlaut. U with dots. So it's called the umlaut in German. And in Spanish, we call it the dieresis. Dieresis. U with two dots. So let's start with the letter ñ. So the letter ñ comes up in a few words. For example, niña, which means a girl. Niña. And it also comes up in niño, which means a boy. Niño. Also in piña, which means pineapple, piña, and España, which means Spain, España. So yes, the ñ, N with the little line. And let's actually learn how to type the letter ñ. So if we go right here to Microsoft Word, the way to write ñ is very simple. The first thing you need to do is that you have to make sure you're using the Spanish keyboard. So make sure you put the settings back into the Spanish keyboard because it doesn't work in the English one. So if you look on my keyboard on the right bottom side, you can see that there's an extra letter. We have the letter L, so JKL, and then we have ñ right next to it. So you cannot see it in your physical keyboard, but basically if you press the key next to the letter L, you basically get the ñ. So if you have an American keyboard, it might be a semicolon. So you basically just press it. Oops, my mistake, that's the accent one, the ñ. And if you want to make it capitalized, you just hold the shift key, press and hold, and then you click on ñ, the same letter, just like a normal key, any other normal key. So yeah, shift key, ñ, and there you go. So the ñ will always be next to the letter L. So if you ever need it and you're looking for it, make sure you're on the Spanish keyboard and press the key next to the letter L. Ñ. Okay. And let's try the next ones. Oh, one more thing. And we also need to know how to type it, for example, on mobile. So on mobile, it's very simple. You just press, for example, let's get a new reminder. Let's see if this works. Oh, I need a keyboard. It's not coming up. So for this one, you basically just press the letter ñ, which will be right next to it. Let me click the keyboard. Okay, now it works. I got it. So next to the letter L, we have the letter ñ. And we basically just press it as normal. So make sure you click here and that you're using the Spanish keyboard. So here you can switch between English, emoji, or Spanish. And this works on both Android and iOS. So right here, ñ, you just press it like a normal key. Shift key, ñ, and there you go. That's how you get the ñ. And let's go back to the next ones. So the next ones are the accent keys, which are the vowels with a line on the top. And accents are actually important because each word, because sometimes you have words, and the moment you have a letter with an accent, it changes the complete meaning of the word. So, for example, here we have de. De means from or of. But if you say de with an accent, it's basically a command for give. So to give, de, give it, de. So de is more like a command, but in one of the more advanced conjugations. So there's a conjugation where you give commands to people. So this is where it comes from. It's one of those conjugations. But this is the difference between having an accent and having no accent. It changes the complete meaning of the word you're trying to say. And it also changes the sound. For example, de. So yeah, it changes the sound and the meaning. That's why we have them. And another example would be el, which means the, or an el, which means he. So el is the for masculine verbs, masculine nouns, and el for he. Another example would be me, which is my, and me, which means me, basically. Another one would be que, which is that or than, que, and que, which means what, que. Another example would be se, which is a reflexive pronoun. In Spanish, we also have reflexive verbs, which is verbs that you do to yourself. We will learn about them very soon, actually. And se, which is a conjugation for to know. Se, one of the more advanced conjugations. The next one is te, which is to you, kind of like I give something to you. And te, which means tea. We also have tu, which is your, and tu, which is you. And there's also ve, which is a conjugation for he or she sees. He or she sees. Ve, ella ve, él ve. And ve, which means look, a command for to look. So you don't have to memorize these ones right now, but I wanted to use them as examples of why accents are important, because they can change the entire meaning of a word. So yes, accents are important. And let's learn how to type the accents. So to type the accent is actually very simple. If you look next to the letter P on the keyboard, there is one there. In your English keyboard, you might not have this, or whatever language keyboard you have. But if you're using the Spanish mode in the keyboard, you will have the accent key. So next to the letter P is the accent key. So you basically press it once, and now if you look, the A, E, I, O, U are highlighted, which means that they will come with an accent. So if you look on the Microsoft Word, there's already an accent there, and then you click on the letter that you want it. So for example, A, and there you go, A with an accent. And let's try again, A, let's see, accent key, then E, then accent key once again, O, accent key, U, accent key, I. So yes, you basically press that key next to the letter P while using the Spanish mode of the keyboard. And that's where you get the accent key. And if you want to make it capitalized, it's also very simple. You just press Shift and you hold Shift, press and hold Shift, and then you click, no, my mistake, you press Shift. Let's see, my mistake, press Shift, and no, I'm actually mistaken. You press the accent key, then you press Shift, and then you press A, or the letter you want to give it to. So accent key first, accent key, then Shift, then the letter you want. One more time, accent key, then Shift, and now you can see that the letters are highlighted for uppercase. And there you go. So accent key first, then Shift, then the letter you want. Accent, Shift, and letter. If you want a normal one, just accent key and the letter. So yes, it takes some practice, but it's quite easy to understand, to get the hang out of it. So yeah, make sure you press it first, because the reason I'm saying press it first is because if you press the Shift key first, the accent key changes, and now it's the two little dots that make the dieresis. So here you go, and now you can actually type a dieresis. So this is the difference between pressing the Shift first or pressing the accent key first. So yes, accent key, letter, or accent key, Shift, and letter. Okay, and let's try it out on a simulate on a cell phone or mobile. And on mobile is way more simple. So if you want to type it, you basically just type the letter you want, for example, A, and you hold it. And now you can just scroll through whatever A you want. For example, there you go, A, E, press and hold, E, I, press and hold, O, and yeah, and U. So you can actually put the dieresis, the two little dots, or the accent. If you want it capitalized, same as a normal key, Shift key, then you press. So Shift key, I, O, and U. So this is way more simple on mobile than it is on the computer. So yes, Shift key, O, accent. So you just use it basically as a normal key. Okay, and let's go back to our class. And let's try the final one, which is the letter U with the two little dots. And this U is actually the only one we have. Other languages have the two little dots on other letters. In Spanish, it's only for the letter U. And it's always in lowercase. It's never in capital. It's never in uppercase. So let's try some examples. Bilingue, which means bilingual. So the letter U is mostly used in between the letter G and the letter E, or the letter G and the letter I. It's always in between. That's why it's never capitalized, because you never start a word with that letter. It's always in the middle between G and E or G and I. For example, bilingue. There's also pingüino, UI, GUI, pingüino, lingüística, linguistics, antigüedad, antique, antigüedad. So bilingüe, bilingual, pingüino, penguin, lingüística, linguistics, antigüedad, antique. You don't have to memorize these phrases, but they're examples. Okay, and you might be wondering, how do I type the letter U? And I think we went through this really fast. So let's try it one more time. For the U, you basically have to click on Shift first, and then the accent key, which now turns into a dieresis sign, the two little dots, and then you can just type the U. And there you go. Shift key, accent key, U. So Shift, accent, U. And if you want that U to be capitalized, which you will never use, you hold the Shift, you press the this mark, the two little dots mark, the accent key, and U. And that's how you get it capitalized, but you will never use it in Spanish. So yeah. So yes, there's a difference between this one and the other one. And the accent. So the accent, just press once and the letter. The other one, Shift, the same key and the letter. U, or even put it for I, it works, but you don't use that in Spanish. Okay, so that's basically how to get the umlaut, the dieresis sign, in a Spanish keyboard. And let's try it out on mobile. So on mobile, it's way more simple. You just hold the letter U and scroll to the U with the two little dots. So simple, U and little dots. You hold and click. So yes, if you want it capitalized, hold Shift, U, hold it, and U. So simple, press Shift, U, and U. So that's how you get the letter U. And that's it for this one. It's a long lesson, so thanks for watching. Hope you learned something new. Thanks for watching.